A lot of people ask me, how do you get in shape and how do I actually stick to it? And my first typical response is, why do you want to get in shape? Because the how really means nothing until you find your why. Finding your why can be the ultimate difference between you getting what you want and giving up before you even get started. So let's talk about your why power. Stay tuned. Hey there, my friend Perry Tinsley here, and welcome to another Power Blast podcast where we provide nourishment for the soul, allowing you to transform from the inside out, providing you rapid results in mindset and fitness so that you can recharge your battery and reclaim your power. But before we get into all this why power, make sure you get over to talktoperry.com. My calendar is wide open for podcast viewers, and it's all about keeping that energy high so that you can reach all your goals. And I want to help you recharge your battery so that you can reclaim your power. And we'll do that in about 15 minutes. Talktoperry.com. Now, my why changed over the years. And you might have heard about, people, you got to find your why. Everything starts with why. But, it really started with me where initially I saw my unhealthy habits showing me just this pattern of where I was going. And as a matter of fact, the unhealthy habits that I was doing, I saw it in my relatives. And where they were struggling. They're struggling with diseases. They were struggling with ailments, etc. And so my eyes kind of got wide open when I'm like, oh my gosh, I can see this blueprint right ahead of me, and it's totally within my control. I can make a change, but I've got to change. There's something I've got to do to break this pattern and actually change, because I wanted to travel. I wanted to do things with my wife. I wanted to do things with the pet kids, and I didn't want to follow down that path of struggle. And of course, I'm looking for every quick fix out there. That may have happened to you too at the beginning of your journey, or if you're just starting. But I'm like, if I get a quick fix, I may get the instant results, but what will I put in place? What will I have learned along the way to make this lifelong and sustainable? And a lot of times with quick fixes, people get the result, but they don't get the habits. They don't dig into their why, and things, they return back into old ways and stuff like that. So let's talk about, with me, I had a new why for going after my goal. So if your why power or your desire is great enough, it's likely that any goal you put out there is going to you're going to reach it. But if your why power isn't great enough, it isn't very strong, it usually goes right into the heap of every other New Year's resolution type of goal setting, where you kind of get started, you might have a little bit of success, but you kind of just drift back off and back into the comfort zone, which a lot of times the comfort zone never remains all that comfortable. So think of it this way. You may have heard this before. I heard this at a Tony Robbins seminar, a couple different seminars where I've heard it before. And I know I'm not going to get the story exact, but it goes something like this. If I were to give you a 10-inch wide board, a long plank, 30 feet long, and I ask you, and I lay it down on the ground, and I ask you, walk that plank for $100, would you do it? And you'd probably be like, I'm doing it right now. Easy money, right? But what if I took that same plank and I put them in did a bridge between two 100-story buildings and said, walk the plank from one building to the other? Would you do it for $100? Unless you're a daredevil, most likely you're going to be like, nope, up the ante on that or something like that, right? You'd probably say no thanks. But imagine this. Now, imagine your child, or it could be a pet or significant other or parent, is on the other side, that other building, and you're on one side. And that building's on fire. And there's no one in sight to do the rescue except you. Would you walk the length of that plank to go and rescue them? Now, the chances are you probably would. I mean, I don't know, but it's something to consider, because what changed? It's the same plank. It's the same risk. What changed? Your why changed. your reason for doing that changed. So when your reason is big enough and your why is strong enough, you'll be willing to do whatever it takes to reach your goal. And that's where I started looking at my health and fitness. So when I started, I mean, it was a struggle. I just wanted to get the habit going first. I wasn't really, while I wanted the results, I'll be honest with that. And I wanted to see where this went. James Clear, and the author of Atomic Habits, he sums it up really well when he says, it's more important, at the beginning, it's more important to develop the habit first than it is to see the results. And I know us in the health and fitness world, we want results like that, right? But my why was so strong that when I didn't feel like exercising, there were many days that way, I still did it anyway. And I began building this lifelong habit, to where it's almost like, if you're familiar with that. Oh gosh, what was the movie? Rain Man, where it's like 2 minutes to Wapner. It's like you're gonna freak out if you don't get your workout in. That was really cool. To get into that rhythm, and you just show up anyway because that why power is so strong, and it's energy boosting. Speaking of that, if you ever need a recharge, somebody to talk to, somebody to talk this out, let's hop on a call. I call it my recharge call. And I want to hear your goals. I want to hear the things that you're working through, the things that you're struggling with, what's being an energy drain for you. And I'll tell you within 15 minutes of us talking together, which direction is going to be the best for you and where you're going to get the biggest results from so that you can recharge your battery and reclaim your power. And I always refer to that like kind of a cell phone battery where you're thinking of your smartphone, and when it gets way down there, you're scrambling for power. It's like you don't want your phone to crash. Well, we go through that in life a lot of times where we're just running on fumes and not really charging ourselves up. And so on that call, you'll walk away with 3 strategies that to boost your energy, reclaim your time, and make you the priority. A lot of times we don't make ourselves a priority. I mean, think about this. How would your life look different if your battery was running at 100% every single day? That's over at talktoperry.com. That's my calendar. So when your why is strong enough, you're unstoppable. So how do you keep that why in front of you? A lot of times we're like, I've got this strong why, but there's a lot of distractions during the day, a lot of things that happen during the day, and other things, trying to jockey for our time and our priorities. So I'm saying, like, post things around the house, do Post-it notes, do pictures, do a vision board, anything to keep that in your mind. I even had affirmations that I was doing and saying to myself as I was getting ready for work in the morning. And when your why is so strong enough, that's the reason why you don't hit snooze on your clock anymore. And you get up and you make the most of every day. And I know a lot of times people will be like, oh, that would be such a dream to be able to have that energy and have that go. And that's why I'm talking to people on the phone to go through that. But that's the idea of your why, not the idea of your why. When you have something so strong that you're like, oh my gosh, I am going after this no matter what, and I'm never going to waver. Like I'm walking across the plank to rescue my mom, pet, kid, whatever it is. You begin to really look at things differently in life, and you start applying your why to other areas of life. So finding your why, what drives you, that can make the ultimate difference between getting what you want and not getting what you want in life. So my why has changed over the years. One of the whys, so non-fitness related, I needed to make some extra money because I had a German Shepherd that had veterinary bills that went into 5 figures a couple times. And so I began and really worked at my a side business. I had video business, I had a web business, I had a network marketing business, and my dog became my why. My reason for reaching out to serve people, to deliver and help. And so it's and then things have changed over the years. Now it's to create and design a life where I've got more energy, I've got happiness, I've got the money, I've got the health to make the most of life and be present with my wife and travel whenever we can. And that why has just become a strong habit for me. So find that strong why, something that's bigger than you, right? And your why will keep you going even on the days that you're not into it, that you're feeling a little sluggish, that you want to give up, but you show up anyway. And you use your why to continue to go and get whatever it is you want, whether it's to get in shape, whether it's to do a new career, maybe it's to find a relationship, whatever it is. So just know that you can choose to use your power and take control, or you can let the excuses and justifications control you and drain that power of yours. A lot of times people say, well, I had the best intentions. Well, the why wasn't strong enough. Decide and commit to yourself and your goals. And this is going to take time. It's going to take effort. It's going to take focus. But choose to give up those excuses, the alibis, and choose to figure out new ways. Look at possibilities. Dig into your why. Learn, grow, and keep moving forward. So I'd love to hear your top takeaway down in the comments here. You absolutely rock, my friend. And as always, remember, it's never too late. We'll see you next week. That's another Power Blast podcast in the books. Thanks so much for tuning in. And remember, when you are ready to recharge your battery, make sure you go to talktoperry.com. That's talktoperry.com. That's Perry. And I want to listen. I want to hear, what's going on. I want to help you in that 15-minute call to recharge your battery and reclaim your power so that you're off and running and creating massive momentum toward your dream. Also, every day I am delivering more motivation, support, tips, and strategies inside my free community with amazing people like yourself. And we are conquering the mindset and the fitness. I do 52 weeks of free training in there. Plus, I coach and I mentor people, as well as give you access to tons of resources and guides. It's called my Upside Down Fitness Community because we work on a lot of mindset stuff, the inside stuff. And we're a fun group of people striving to make healthier habits in this awesome chapter of life. So make sure you get in there. I promise you'll absolutely love it. Just head over to UpsideDownFit.com and you can get into the group. And hey, you would be an awesome friend if you get over to iTunes or wherever you listen to your podcast and leave an honest rating and review for the Power Blast podcast. It helps awesome people like you find the show even faster, and that's who I'm looking for, awesome people like you. That's all I have for this week, my friend, and just to let you know, you absolutely rock. That's all I have for this week. I'll see you on the next Power Blast podcast, and always remember, it's never too late. We'll see you next week.